This is Barry Worse with Mauiwatch. We are here at the MAC here on Maui, Miss Saigon, just about to open here in Wailuku. The heat is on, folks. It's been a few weeks of anticipation, months and months of rehearsal, and now we are about ready. As you can see, we are here at the glorious MAC Theater, this legendary theater. Legends have bestowed the stage, walked upon the stage, performed upon the stage. This is the first time Miss Saigon has ever been performed on Maui. This is a very big deal, folks. In just a little while, we'll be talking with the cast and crew of Miss Saigon to give you a taste of what's to come, as well as a look at some of the performances coming up as well. This is exciting stuff. Out of all the productions you're going to see this year, you've never seen this show on Maui before. This is a breakthrough for the actors. This is a breakthrough for Maui Theater. Couldn't be more excited, folks. Miss Saigon, it's here. It's on Maui. I'm here with David Johnson, the director of Miss Saigon. David, what has this enormous, incredible experience been like for you?
It's just worn me out. It's been a fabulous experience, actually. This is such a rich show. There are so many layers to it. We were talking last night about the move into the castle and putting all the pieces together. And I was like, I thought we dealt with all of our problems. And our designer said, you know, this show's like peeling away the layers of an onion. You know, it's one layer after another. It gets deeper and deeper. And that's sort of a great metaphor for the entire process of this show. I think it's been that way, discovery upon discovery upon discovery, that's taken us farther into the lives of these people and the richness of the story, the poignancy, and the meaning and power of it.
Now, what was your first experience with this musical? Did you see it on stage before?
I have never seen it before. No. So this is my first experience with the piece. Yeah, it's been a ride. I will tell you this, that when it's come up many times about doing this show, and I've always kind of shied away from it because it's a huge production. It's got incredible casting challenges with it, and I wasn't sure we could do it on this island. And we finally tossed it around enough, and I said, all right, we don't know whether we can or not till we give it a try. Let's go. And it's been a wonderful reward. I'm glad that we jumped in with both feet. We've got a great cast here. It's a terrific cast. We have people brand new to the stage. We have veterans who've come back. And we also have, you know, the ethnicity of this show has brought out a richness of a part of the community that we haven't worked with a lot before. So that's been a blessing also.
What is it like dealing with a show that tackles issues not only of obviously the Vietnam War, but prostitution in every sense of the word, and compromise, and all the really gut-wrenching issues that Miss Saigon brings up? How has that been, all of you? This is not to undersell this magnificent show, but it's a tough show. It's a dark show. Has it taken a toll on all of you doing something that's so emotionally wrenching?
It is a dark show. It deals with a lot of dark issues in it. But I think, you know, that's the richness of it too. It gives us a lot to work on and with and in, and it does take a toll on you. You know, I go home some nights and I'm physically exhausted, but also it is emotionally tiring too. I was talking to our choreographer the other night, and I said I was sitting at home and I thought, why am I so tired this time around? And then it dawned on me that it's the emotions of the show that are working in me and churning in me all of the time. And I sort of put those on the side because there's so many other issues to deal with. But when I actually think about it, it's a powerful story. It's a touching story. It's a chicken skin kind of piece, you know. And when I allow myself to let down enough to absorb it and to take it in, hopefully as an audience will, it brings tears to my eyes.
What's been some of the more rewarding moments during the rehearsal process?
I think it's the discovery with actors, and it's casting people and not knowing exactly what their full capacity is that they're bringing to the table, and watching that blossom. There have been some great surprises, and to see people throwing themselves heart and soul into it, and giving so much and discovering so much about themselves, about the characters, and about the story.
How was the casting process for this? Because I heard there's a few people in the cast who have never actually acted before, so you actually got some really fresh green faces.
That's true. That is true. And the casting process is just one of, you hope your instincts are all functioning when you're doing the casting, because a lot of it is that. Our Kim, who I've never worked with before, she's relatively new to the stage, but when we saw her audition, we went, that's her. This is the essence of this woman, and she's bringing it. And we said, let's take a chance. And we do not regret doing that. She's doing a fabulous job, and she just is the essence of Kim.
What's your favorite number from Miss Saigon? Do you have a favorite song?
Oh, gosh, that's hard. I've got a couple. I still believe. Is that it? I can't even remember the names now. It's all becoming a blur now.
Been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a very long week. That's one of my favorites, and I love Ellen's song now that I've seen her.
Yeah.
But they're wonderful pieces. It's not. I shouldn't be talking about this because then the cast is going to be mad at me.
How has it been performing at the MAC?
You know what? This is great. This is one of the joys of doing these big summer shows. This facility allows us to do things we can't do anywhere else or with any of our other shows that we do in our seasons. So to have the opportunity to play in this great big theatrical toy box it's so fun for all of us, and it stretches us in terms of our imaginations and our possibilities.
Is it too early to ask what you'll be directing next summer?
It's too early.
Too early? Okay. That's right.
This is what everybody did to me last summer after Les Mis. I'm like, no.
Well, then my last question, because this is a really interesting thing. I mean, what made you decide on Miss Saigon?
You know, it was a torturous process to get here, because after the success of Les Mis, it was like maybe I should just retire and move on. But it was like, how do you top that? You know? And it's like, okay, we can't talk about topping that show. It's what do we want to bring to our audience here, and what are our possibilities? We looked at a slate of all different kinds of musicals, from family shows to Miss Saigon, and we tossed them all around, and we finally landed on Miss Saigon, and a large part of it was I had great encouragement from my board for this title, and I think it was that set me over the edge and said, let's go.
Well, we're all excited for you. We're all rooting for you. Break a leg and have fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're here with Barry Kawakami, who's playing a very complex and one of the darker roles in Miss Saigon. The character is pronounced Tui, am I correct? Or?
Correct.
Okay, I've said Thoy and Twee, and I've never been right about it, but it's Tui. Okay,
Tui.
I want to make sure. This character has been pigeonholed as a villain, and some would say he's a victim of war. What's your take on this guy?
I mean, I think my take is, he's hurting just like everyone else, and I think there's a lot of depth to him that he loves, and he had a lot of sacrifice he had to make in order to get to where he is and what he, wants to get, which is, Kim. And, he did a lot of sacrifices even that the family doesn't know, that she doesn't know. And I think that, that depth with him and that anger of, just the Viet Cong and just the war, it just gets to him. And, it's, a lot of people don't think about, like, what the war does to you. And, he might have been on the other side, but still it's the same, it's the same result, and it's the same anger and pain and guilt and feelings that he has. And, and then to come back and to see the person he loves in someone else's arms, and, so, I think he's, it's a love story between him and Kim as well, but you always only see the angry side of him, so, yeah.
What has your process been becoming this character?
Really at first it was taking it and, just kind of, playing it as like, okay, here's Tui. And then really breaking it down to, even in his songs, his notes are so high, and thinking that it's like, those are notes of like pain and, like, just desperation.
Yeah.
And so at one point I went clear to the other side of just really pleading with her and crying and wanting to be with her, to being angry, and finding that, now trying to find that balance. And I think I've kind of settled in and, kind of figured out where, that pain plays into his anger. And I hope I can, I hope people see the pain, and I hope people can understand that, he's hurting, and he's in love too, so.
Is this a show you grew up with? What was your introduction to Miss Saigon?
So actually Miss Saigon is, growing up, this was actually my first Broadway show that I saw on Broadway when I went to New York. I actually auditioned for the touring company when it went to Oahu. I believe it was 1994 or something, and I was, in high school, and I think I was a sophomore or junior, and so this show has really meant a lot to me. when I auditioned for the piece and I got the part, I remembered, I was like, there was a poster of Miss Saigon that I had purchased in New York hanging in my room. So I called my mom. I said, Mom, is that poster still hanging in my room? And she said, yeah, it is. I said, so, 20 years later, or 19 years later, it's come full circle. And, this is a show I've always wanted to do. And to actually play, do the show and to actually really play Tui. I think that's every Asian, character, dreams of playing Tui, and especially in this show. And I think it's been a great come full circle. So I think it's to bring that and to bring Tui to the stage. I hope I can do it justice.
I'm sure you will, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, did you try out for Tui the first time you wanted to be in this production?
No, actually, they emailed me and stuff and said, hey, we want you to come and audition for a part. And I said, which part? And they said Tui. I said, I don't know if I have those notes. And they said, well, just come on in. And so when I did, I went in and watched, the other character, the other actors kind of do the part, and saw Kim, Sharon, and I don't know. I said, you know what? I don't have the notes, but I don't know. I feel like I can act it. I can play it, and and playing off of Sharon, it was really nice. So that was my audition process, and yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, and to actually get it, I was like, oh, And when I was auditioning, I was like, okay, I want this part, And it sits in you, and you're like, okay, I want this part. I can do this part. So.
Now, before this interview, you told me this is the first thing you've done in 20 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've been in hibernation. So after I left high school, I left and I didn't do any, I didn't do any shows. Stopped singing, and lived in New York though, and went to a lot of theater, but never got the opportunity to go back on stage. And last year I moved back to Hawaii, back to Maui, and I was going to do Les Mis, but had to drop out because of work and stuff. But yeah, I think to have Miss Saigon be my, to return back to Maui and to do, theater with this production, I think it was meant to be for me.
Well, I'm really excited for you. Well,
Thank you.
break a leg, have fun this weekend,
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait to see you tackle this, Roman. That is so exciting.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you. If you could tell us your name and your character, and I think everybody who's a fan of the show is going to know immediately who you are.
Ricky Jones, Christopher Scott.
How daunting was it even auditioning for this role? This is one of the great roles in musical theater. What was that experience like for you?
Well, not only that, it was one of my top 5 all-time roles I've ever wanted to play. I'm close to 40. I never thought I would actually get the shot. And it's been amazing. It was a little nerve-wracking. I had no idea who else was coming out for it. One of the other actors on the island I know has an amazing voice, and so that was scary, but I went in, I gave it a shot, and here we are.
How did you first experience Miss Saigon?
Back in high school, my very first girlfriend actually wound up playing Kim, understudy in the LA cast, and so I was introduced to it very early on. Lea Salonga was her idol, and so it was fun, and I've always wanted to play it ever since then, and now I can.
How's the experience been becoming this character, the process of making this character new for you?
It's been so long since I'd seen the show. When I saw it again, there were aspects of Chris that were just not me, things that he does that I would have done differently. So getting into that role and trying to make him mine and find out my own personal reasons for some of the things that he did, that was one of the best parts, actually. I'm a very cerebral person. I wrote a 30-page character bio of all the things that happened to him and why he chose the choices he did and things like that. So it was fun getting into his head and figuring him out.
What song did you rehearse with when you had the opportunity to belt it out?
Mostly Sun and Moon. Yeah. The hotel scene when he goes up into the stratospheric notes, that was probably the most challenging for me. I'm a lyric baritone by trade, and this is very much a tenor role. So it was a stretch, but I think we've gotten there.
So clearly, as a classically trained actor, there's a lot of secrets you have about this role. Is there anything that we'd be surprised to know about your interpretation of Chris? Things that even surprised you as you were preparing to play this part?
I think that at the I don't know how much do I ruin. I don't want to give any spoilers.
People know this show fairly well if they're watching this, I assume. I hope.
Well, at the end, he chooses Ellen.
That is quite the spoiler, yeah.
Yes, well.
We can cut this, it's okay.
Okay. She dies.
It's tragic.
But I think for me, it was challenging. Why does he choose Ellen over Kim? And so our backstories, we all worked together to figure this out. And in our version anyway, Ellen just told him the night that he found out about Kim that she is also pregnant. And so it was it's hard. It's an impossible decision any way you look at it. So that, I think, that was the biggest thing I had to wrap my head around. Yeah, the most challenging part.
Who are some of your acting idols? Who are some of the people that you want to channel while you're performing?
My goodness. Ian McKellen has been, for a long time, even before the big movies he's most famous for now. Robert Downey Jr., let's see, Robert Redford, So a lot of the older actors, I think.
Not a slouch in any of those. So
well, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice choice.
Thank you.
I hear a lot of like Justin Bieber and so on. I appreciate the classics, the real legends of theater. So good.
I haven't seen him act, Bieber.
Well, that's a whole other. Last, before we go, you told me off camera that your wife is in this show.
Yes.
Do you care to comment on her performance?
I think her performance speaks for itself. She plays Gigi. In my opinion, sings the best song in the show, and does it beautifully.
What do you guys talk about when you go home? Because her role is quite the contrast from what you're playing.
Yes, and actually quite the contrast from her. You'd never know it by watching her on stage, but she's just the opposite of that person. But we try and talk about everything other than the show, pretty much. Yeah.
So how overall was this experience?
It was great. We have a 10-month-old, and so it was probably the most challenging thing for both of us working in the same show, being away from him, most nights. But other than that, this experience has been amazing. The cast is amazing. The crew is sensational, and we have one of the best directors I've ever worked with. So.
Well, we're really excited for you. I just want to tell you, break a leg, have fun, and thank you for taking on this role.
Thank you.
We're here with Kepa. Kepa, you're playing the engineer. This is one of the most iconic roles in all of musical theater. No pressure, man.
Thanks for reminding me.
How's it been?
It's been a journey, a great experience. It's been more of a pressing into character and inside of me more than a music. I think music, not that it's easy, but that part was coming more comfortably for me. As for the character and being a part of this guy that is not well liked and he doesn't have that good morals, for a father and a grandfather and a director of a hula group and member of the church choir, it was tough.
Have you warned them what they're going to see?
I did. I said it's fine print, it's acting, it's a show.
It's a performance, folks.
Yes, and I do go and confess every night after. No, it's not about that. It really takes me to where I came from. It reminds me that not everybody had a perfect past, and for the engineer, he wasn't born like that either, and we have our choice on how to react to the things that happen to our life. And for me in this journey, I'm reminding myself I can tap back to what I've experienced in my own personal life, and I'm learning from friends and having that encouragement that I don't have to dwell there. I can just connect and know and push forward, and it's been really great, really, really awesome.
Well, I know you're pressed for time, but I just want to tell you, break a leg, have fun. It's such a pleasure to finally get to meet you, and we're really excited to see what you do with this guy.
I appreciate it.
We're just minutes from rehearsal, but I managed to squeeze in one last interview with Sharon, managed to get her away from all the huge demands of this production. Sharon, how are you holding up with this daunting, amazing, gigantic production, the first time Miss Saigon's ever been on Maui?
Breathing in and out, just saying, I'm okay. Just taking it all in one day at a time. I have so many experts, guiding me. So it's pretty much, it's not easy, but certainly a big help.
Are you just exhausted at the end of every night when you go home? This is such an emotionally wrenching show.
Yes, it is. Am I exhausted? It would be, I would lie if I say no, but so many people, again, helping me out, family, friends, and so the cast, the crew, they're just amazing. You've seen the set, it's just phenomenal. So it would be just doing a small little part is really not a big deal.
Now, no pressure, but you're playing one of the most famous roles in all of musical theater. This is a character that goes through so many heartbreaking compromises. How has that been as an actress? What has this process been like for you?
I don't consider myself an actress. I am not an actress. In fact, this, like you said, this is my first time ever. So just taking it from a little bit of some background, personal, some, I guess, history or some instincts, I don't know. And of course, an incredible, we have a musical director. It's just awesome. We have a director, David Johnston, who's just a visionary, a choreographer, Andre. They're all just experts in everything. So it makes what I do, what we do, not easy, but certainly, I guess, magical.
Now, when this is over, you're going to have some nice vacation time, some nice quiet downtime to kind of get it out of your system, or?
I don't know. I don't think it will ever be out of my system completely because, it's been our life every day, every night for the past few months. But it's a life-changing story. The experience, getting to know, the crew, the cast. We built friendships. It's a family relationship. So. But the story itself, I did not realize just how powerful it is and just how moving it is. It's beyond what people think. Well, a lot of people say, oh, it's glorifying the war, and it's not about that. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's just this powerful love story between a mother and a child, and the mother and and the sweetheart. It's like a Romeo and Juliet. I don't know. You're right. From the time that the curtains go up, you're just at the edge of your seat the whole time. So I hope everybody enjoys it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Break a leg. God bless you, and have fun. Well, there you have it, folks. One of the biggest productions to ever be produced on Maui. This is it, folks. Miss Saigon, finally coming to Maui. You can get tickets at 242 Show, or you can go to our website and get some more information about getting tickets for Miss Saigon. And you want those tickets, folks. They're likely to go fast. So check it out while you can. Once in a lifetime, the premiere of Miss Saigon on Maui. I'm Barry Wurst for Mauiwatch.